Now, in this video about the Swiss state pension, we're going to be looking at what you could get. Sadly, it's probably not what you will actually get. The impact of divorce and what happens in early retirement. And then the one mistake that many people make that could cost you thousands at the beginning of your pension withdrawal, and you will never ever get that money back. Let's just jump straight in and have a look what you could get as a state pension in Switzerland. Okay, the maximum amount for a single person is, I'm reading off here, 2,520 francs a month. The joint amount for married couples is 3,780. And what is called the minimum amount is 1,260. Now, please be aware, the government states very clearly that you do need to have other sources of income. You are not supposed to live off this. Now, the other thing, okay, is let's have a look at what the criteria is for this, because I, for one, when they say minimum, I just think, oh, great, it doesn't matter how long I've been here for, doesn't matter how much I've earned, I'm going to get the minimum of 1,260 francs a month. Wrong. Let's have a look how this is calculated, and in fact, what you are more likely to get. Okay. So first of all, the criteria for the state pension is that you have to have worked for 44 years. That's i.e. from the age of 21 to 65 or 64 if it's women. I've got a flickering of lights here, so I'm sorry about that. Okay. And in order to qualify for the maximum amount, you have to have earned an average of 90,720 francs a year. Now, what that means is, from the age of 21 to the age of 65, add up all of the salary, the income that you earned during those years, and divide by 44. That is your average income. Okay, so 90,000 is actually quite a lot of money. If you have managed to do that, and you've worked or paid in national insurance for those 44 years, you will get the 2,520. Now, the minimum, and this is the bit I find actually a little bit strange, is that for the minimum pension, you still have to have contributed for 44 years and have earned an average of 14,340 francs a year. So let me give you an example of what that means for somebody like myself. Now, I have been in Switzerland since I was around about 30 years old. That means that, let's say, I have 22 years of contributions. Certainly have not reached the 90,000 a year. So let's say I'm more on the lower end, just about making the minimum, right? So if I had worked the 44 years, I would have got 1,260. But I've only worked 22 years and paid in 22 years of contributions. So I only get half. So I only get 630 francs a month, okay? Nothing like what they will state as the minimum pension. So be aware of that. Now, you can go online and calculate this, and I will be creating a video on that. So make sure that you subscribe so that it'll pop up when I actually create it, and I will take you through how to calculate how much that you actually are likely to get from your state pension when you retire, and how you can work out whether you can also pay in gaps. Now, that's the next subject, gaps. Now, gaps can be quite complicated, so I'm not going to go into great detail here. But what I do want to mention is, if you've been living abroad, if, let's say, as a student, from 21 till 25, something like that, you weren't paying you weren't working, you were not paying national insurance, you've missed those 3-4 years. Okay, you can go back, but you can only go back within the last 5 years. You can't top up with extra money like you can in the UK and other places. Okay, you can only fill a gap. Okay, so bear that in mind. Have a look to see if maybe you took a year out, you took a gap year, maybe you decided that you'd had enough from work and, I don't know, you took a sabbatical. Okay, make sure that you do not have that gap and pay in. Okay. I will be doing a video on that one, because paying in is not actually quite so easy as it sounds. Okay, now let's get to divorce, grey divorce. Okay, it happens, and I understand. It's actually massively increasing at the moment, and part of the reason is that we're all living longer, okay, and then we're looking at it going, hey, I've got another 30 years, 30 plus years maybe, to live. Do I still want to be with this person? And quite a few people are going, no. Now, finances should not dictate who you are with. At the same time, it's really important to understand the impact a divorce has on your finances and what it means afterwards. So that's the only reason here. This is not to make you change your mind as to whether you stay or you go from a relationship. So in Switzerland, okay, the courts will automatically split your social security contributions equally between you on divorce. Okay, you do not have a say. It is not negotiable. Let's take an example. Spouse A and spouse B. Spouse A has been earning quite well and has contributed 100,000 francs into the national insurance, into the state pension fund. Okay. Spouse B has been at home looking after the children and has earned, let's say, 10,000 contributions into the state pension fund. Okay. That means a total of 110,000 francs in the pot. Now the state, the courts, will automatically just split this out. Okay? Spouse A gets 55,000. Spouse B gets 55,000. So the person who is staying at home is fairly rewarded during that marriage, but of course the person who works has a significant reduction in what's in their state pension. So be aware that whatever you have joint during those years will be significantly reduced. Now, this is my favourite bit, early retirement. Okay, you've been working most of your life. You perhaps got married. You perhaps got divorced. And now you decided, I'm so sick and tired of working for people. I now want to enjoy my life and just make the most of my retirement. In Switzerland, you can take out your state pension 2 years early. So that means 63. Now, maybe 62 for women, but that's changing. So let's just say 63, 2 years early, right? Now, of course, we know if you're going to take out money early from somewhere, you're going to get penalised, okay? So if you take out the money at 63, you lose 13.8% of the pension that you're going to get, okay? That's quite a significant amount of money, and you're going to lose that for life, okay? If you wait a year till you're, let's say, 1 year before the 65 or 1 year before retirement age, then you lose 6.8%. Not so bad. And you know, about 39% of Swiss people actually do retire the 1 year early and decide to take that 6.8% reduction. Okay, don't blame them, right? But here's the thing that most people don't know, is that it doesn't matter if you retire at 63 or 64 and take your state pension. You still have to continue paying your state pension contributions. Now you're going to be saying to me, well, hello, I don't earn any money. How can I do that? They change the way in which they calculate how much you have to pay. It's now based on wealth, on your assets. Here's the problem there. You've just retired. You just perhaps said, okay, I'm going to take the money out of my pension scheme, my company pension scheme, and I'm going to invest that, and I'm going to live off the investments. Okay? Maybe I'll have some left. I'm not sure yet. Okay? So I'm going to take all of my money and take it as capital. And that's what I'm living off. I've got my state pension, I've got my 4% coming in from my investments, I've got a little bit in savings still, I'm good. And then what happens? National insurance go, oh, look, you've got all of this wealth, all right? We are going to tax you based on that wealth, and that's going to go into your national insurance. That's going to make no difference. It's not going to increase your national insurance amount, okay? It doesn't mean that you're going to get any more money, okay? You have already fixed the amount when you retired, but you still have to pay in. And believe me, many people have to pay in thousands. I have actually put a link below in the description. Have a look, okay? And it goes to the official tables that calculates how much you potentially have to pay based on how much wealth you think you may have on retirement. So be very, very careful. Now, if you do leave the country before 65, don't forget you can pay in for those gap years, and when you are 65, if you're living abroad, you can of course retire and claim the money and get retirement in another country. So now, on that point, and that's a really, really important point here, if you've turned 65 and you are on a company pension scheme, you will get letters from that company pension scheme asking you to do X, Y, and Z to make sure you get your money, okay? State pension doesn't do that. They will not proactively say to you, hey, congratulations, you now retired. We're going to give you this money. They won't do anything. You'll be waiting a long time. So after a few months, you're going to realize, wait a minute, why don't I have my state pension yet? And when you get in contact with them, they're going to say, oh no, you have to complete a form to request your state pension, and you have to do that 2 or 3 months prior. So then you do that, you get your state pension, and they will not pay back pay. So that means you potentially have just lost out for 5 months at least of pension. So please, please, please make sure that you be proactive, go online and fill out those forms to make sure that on day one of your retirement, wherever that might be, early retirement, normal retirement, late retirement, that you get the money that you deserve, because they will not back pay. Please subscribe. I would love to see you again on this channel. Until next time.